What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Kings. Now, this one stars Halle Berry and Daniel Craig, and it focuses on Halle Berry and her kids, and Daniel Craig and himself living by himself, and it takes place right before the Rodney King riots that took place in the early 90s, and so that's what we kind of focus on. So it isn't really about the Rodney King incident or the riots that followed afterwards. Those are mere backdrops to the family drama that we're seeing played out with Halle Berry and her kids. Now, I saw the trailer to this movie, and I thought to myself, hey, I like Halle Berry, I like Daniel Craig, I'm willing to see where this goes, and I'm always interested in history, and even the disgusting parts in our history, and you know, I like those type of like event movies, whether they be the backdrop or the main focus. I'm always down for it. So I watched the movie, and it's bad. Like, it's bad. I don't know how to explain it, so I'm going to do the best that I can. But let's get real and break this down. All right, so let's start with the positives because they're, small. Very small portion of the movie. Daniel Craig and Halle Berry are good. They're serviceable. And sometimes they do shine when the proper material is given to them and it's not, horrendous dialogue. They do carry the movie. Even though it is very haphazardly cut, they do a solid job carrying the narrative through the very end. The actual riot that happens at the end, when it actually builds up, that suspense builds up to that moment in history, that's good. That was well edited, but that was maybe 10 minutes of the film, and the movie is 90 minutes long. So that was exciting, that was exhilarating, and it was cut fairly well with Halle Berry once again delivering a solid performance to make me believe what was going on. Let's get into the negatives because this is where it falls apart. The editing in this movie is horrendous. I don't like to use that word that often because some films are competently edited. They're just like, okay, whatever. This is bad. So what do I mean by that is that the editing is so choppy and so jarring that it'll show something will happen, and then it'll just automatically flip to the next scene without not having any focus on what we just saw previously, and we're just moving on. It's just like, the movie's just like, hey, here's what's happening. Oh, you saw it? All right, we're moving on. There's no time to let it sink in. There's no weight to this. There's no emotional intensity, especially when you're dealing with this type of subject matter. It just wasn't there, and it just felt like a haphazardly cut together movie with just random scenes thrown together with no actual weight to service them. These characters have such little screen time per scene that you just don't care about them at the very end. Like I said, it's just so awkwardly cut and rushed together that you don't feel for anyone or anything that is happening. So basically, you're just watching a bunch of actors and actresses showcase their talents in a very average to sometimes bad movie. So the editing is where it really strikes this movie to its core. It's only 90 minutes. I kind of wish it was longer because, ironically enough, even though it's choppy and it's rushed in all the characters and the scene development, it also feels like a 4-hour-long movie, which shouldn't be the case. It's 90 minutes. It should move at a brisk pace, but it did not. You could have stretched it out to 2 hours. Maybe that would have fixed some of the problems. I have no clue. But I thought the actual flow, pace, whatever you want to call it, and the editing and putting the scenes together was absolutely terrible, and it made the movie draw out longer than what it actually was. All the other actors, whatever. Everyone's trying, I guess. And a couple more things in the negative. One, there is a quote-unquote dream sequence that almost plays out like a sexy dream, and it looks like a first-year art student filmed that, and it looks really awkward. Like, I didn't know what it was until at the very end I was like, oh, that was a dream. So that was really weird to put that in the middle of the movie when there wasn't any build-up to any romance. I don't know. It was really strange. It was like the director wanted something light and sexy, and they're just like, well, we got these two characters. I think they might do it in the future, so let's give it to them. So that scene was awkward. And the last and final thing that really kind of made me angry was the ending. because the way the movie ended almost felt like it was the end of the second act or the beginning of the third. And it almost felt like 20 minutes of this movie was just chopped off. Because once the movie ends, you're like, wow, that was actually a pretty decent scene. You set up like this amazing climax and you're just going to drop it. And I was like, that wasn't an ending. That was more of like, we shot more stuff and we cut it down because it didn't work well in the editing bay. Now it looks even worse with the way this movie ends. It just ends with a gut punch and you're like, cool, I want to see about 10, 20 minutes more. Oh, the credits rolling. Like, it has no time to breathe at all. There's like a dolly shot up, from the ground up, showing what we're watching, and you're like, wow, that was kind of intense. And then boom, credits just start rolling. Just no time. No time to bask in it, just nothing. So, listen, as a movie about a family drama, it doesn't really work. It's average at best because it's so horrendously cut together that the story points don't have any time to marinate, so it just seems like random scenes thrown together to help push this narrative to 90 minutes. And then it doesn't work as a Rodney King film because even with it as the backdrop, the best part about the movie is the riot at the very end, and that was well cut together, but that was 10 minutes of the movie. So basically what I saw was amateur filmmaking until the last 10 minutes, and that does not compute with me. That is a terrible movie in my opinion. So I'm going to give Kings a D+, only because that last 10 minutes was pretty decent. The cinematography is fine, and Halle Berry and Daniel Craig do their best. So I didn't really care for this movie. It's one of the worst ones I've seen this year, but I don't really care to see it again. So what about you guys? Have you seen Kings, or have you even heard of it? Comment in the place roll my face and let me know. And as always, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.